It's WWE's new annual Battle of the Champions premium live event, aka who is going to have a problem getting through airport security with that championship belt extravaganza. I mean, honestly, look at the size of those things. I'm Fraser Porter from Cultaholic Wrestling, and we are going down under for what happened at WWE Crown Jewel Perth. I do apologise in advance for any bad Australian accents. Let's get into it. We are kicking things off in a big way with Big Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns. Now, the last time these two men faced off, Roman Reigns, despite getting the victory, would leave on a stretcher and then subsequently fly out of Paris so he could go and film Street Fighter. This time, though, it's on Bronson's home turf and under Australian street fight rules, which I guess is just a normal street fight, but in Australia, I guess we'll find out as the match progresses. After about 15 minutes of entrances, the bell finally rings and we are underway. Despite Bronson being the quote-unquote hometown lad, the crowd is firmly behind Roman as he takes the lead early on by bashing Bronson's big head into each turnbuckle before clotheslining Bronson out of the ring and delivering a drive-by kick. We've already spilled into the Perth crowd and Reigns takes a moment to throw some prime handily placed at ringside at his opponent. A conveniently placed trash can is brought into use by the tribal chief as he dominates Bronson all around the crowd area. Our first real taste of what makes this match distinctly Australian comes into play next as Roman brings out a cricket bat, a cricket ball, and an Aussie football which he threw at Bronson but just completely missed. I guess it explains why he was cut from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bronson turns things around and brings out a kendo stick, but Roman has him scouted and takes his time just battering Reed with it. Taking a moment to chat to the crowd, Roman grabs a mic and says if the crowd wants tables, then they have to acknowledge him. Which of course they do, the filthy marks. Before a table can be used though, Bronson stops Reigns in his tracks and pushes the table back under the ring to a huge "Fudge you Bronson" chant. Or at least it sounded like that. Reed now taking control of the match as he targets the ribs of Reigns, which he managed to injure with multiple tsunamis back at Clash in Paris. Reigns, though, luring Bronson in, picks him up for a big Samoan drop through a steel chair. Roman, following a huge jumping clothesline, signals for the Superman punch, but is caught mid-air by Bronson, who takes the former WWE champion down with a huge Samoan driver. An Uranagi onto a metal stop sign later, and Bronson attempts to pin Reigns, but only gets a 2 count. He attempts to follow this up with a senton, but Reigns managed to get out of the way just in time. Both men back on their feet, and Bronson goes head first into a steel chair in the corner, and then eats a Superman punch from a perfectly positioned Roman. Reigns back in the corner, and he indicates with a big ooh ah that he's about to hit the spear, which honestly is quite daft because this meant that Bronson knew what was coming and then retreated outside the ring. Taking it to the outside, Reigns starts building up some steam to run around the ring and spear Bronson. But out of nowhere, Braun Breaker jumps over the barricade and spears Reigns. The two members of the Vision pick up Reigns and deliver a shield powerbomb through the announce table. The Usos, though, are here to give some support to their cousin. Despite Roman being in some pretty urgent danger of being put through a table, Jimmy and Jay take their sweet time coming down to the ring and eventually superkick Braun on the ramp. Jumping into the ring, they take the double team action straight to Bronson. Both Braun and Bronson are sat in adjacent corners, which is followed up by some classic Uso offense. Then a 1D to Braun Breaker puts the stop to the Vision's offense for now. Or does it? The Usos go up into opposite corners to Uso Splash Breaker, but Bronson and Braun cut it off and take down Jimmy and Jay respectively. Braun has Jimmy Uso in his sights outside the ring and spears him through the barricade into the timekeeper area. Meanwhile, in the ring, Bronson eyes Jey Uso with a tsunami, but Reigns cuts him off with a Superman punch, but gets distracted by Braun and can't connect with a spear. Some miscalculation means that Jey Uso actually spears Roman through a table in the corner of the ring. Breaker spears Uso out the way, and then Bronson hits a massive tsunami on Roman Reigns to get the victory. Bronson Reed is now only one of 2 men to pin Roman Reigns in a one-on-one match since his return at SummerSlam 2020. The other man, WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. What a moment for Bronson in his hometown. This was quite a great match actually for what it was. Back in the ring, and Roman is not quite happy with the Usos. He's having a go at them for getting involved. And he tells them that he loves them, but doesn't want to see them until Christmas. Jimmy and Jay then have a wee argument in the middle of the ring, which results in main event Jey Uso walking out on his brother. Our first champion versus champion match of the night is up next as Stephanie Vaquer, the Women's World Champion, takes on the WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton for the right to call themselves the WWE Crown Jewel Women's Champion. I said it earlier, but how on earth do they get that belt in their carry-on? Look at it. The Aussie crowd is firmly split down the middle as they are behind both Stephanie and Tiffany. Both women lock up and tussle for control early on, with a pin attempt from Stephanie only getting a 2 count. This ends the sequence with a stalemate and a handshake offer from Tiffany, which is reciprocated with a swift kick to the midsection. Stephanie Vaquer takes early control of the match and seemingly has Tiffany scouted, as every attempt to get back into the match from the WWE Women's Champion is met with a reversal and with Stephanie back in control. Vaquer looks to wear down Tiffy with a submission, but Tiffany manages to escape and takes Stephanie to the mat with a big back suplex. Tiffany, now in control, manages to hit her handspring elbow in the corner and then delivers an Alabama slam to Stephanie for a very close 2 count. It doesn't last long though, as Vaquer is back on the offense and hits a brutal looking dragon screw in the corner and follows up with a double knee meteora. Going up top, Tiffany knew that the world champ was looking for that corkscrew moonsault and successfully cuts her off and dodges a springboard attempt to turn the match in her favor. Similarly, a prettiest moonsault ever attempt is cut off and Stephanie signals to the crowd that she's going to hit the Devil's Kiss. Unfortunately, this is broken up by Tiffany, who heads to the top rope and goes for a swanton bomb but lands firmly on the knees of Vaquer. This looked absolutely brutal, and coincidentally, she was perfectly placed for the Devil's Kiss, much to the delight of the crowd in Perth. Stratton gets back into the match and Vaquer dodges a prettiest moonsault ever attempt, while Vaquer heads to the top rope and connects with a corkscrew moonsault to be the 2025 Women's Crown Jewel Champion and the first person to defeat Tiffany Stratton this year. Out comes Triple Paul to present Stephanie with the Crown Jewel Championship ring and the championship, and by the looks of it, Vaquer is approximately 3 Crown Jewel Championships tall. Again, it's a massive belt. Stephanie takes a moment to thank the crowd following her victory, specifically thanking them for the support they've shown her since she arrived in WWE, as the crowd chants, "You deserve it." Up next is arguably the true main event of the show. Cena and Styles have faced each other a total of 4 times, each holding 2 victories over the other. This final match, with retirement looming in the horizon for both men, will finally give us an answer to the decades-long question: what will happen when the face of WWE faces the face of TNA? AJ Styles has taken us back 20 years and wearing his classic shorts attire, complete with a classic entrance jacket and logos. Honestly, I feel like a kid watching TNA on Bravo right now. The only thing he was missing was Get Ready to Fly entrance music. Cena unsurprisingly gets a huge reaction from the crowd, and I'm so glad they turn him back as a face because it's worth it just to hear the crowd singing his entire theme. We got our in-ring introductions, which includes a lovely touch as AJ Styles is introduced as the definition of total non-stop action and the true ace and leader of the Bullet Club, which got a huge pop from everyone. We get underway with both Cena and AJ going full force to gain the advantage early on. Not even a minute in and the crowd are chanting, "This is awesome." And yeah, it really is. Both men take turns trying to take control and show off why they are 2 of the best of all time, with a big TNA chant echoing out when Styles knocks Cena to the mat. Cena goes for a very cheeky early attitude adjustment, but the quicker Styles manages to escape and deliver a stiff forearm to the face of a seated Cena. He follows this up with a jumping clothesline in the corner and a second seated forearm for a 2 count. Cena, despite kicking out, is met with another seated forearm and retreats to the corner. He manages to hit Styles with a clothesline, but both men are down on the mat. Cena starts to pick up some steam and manages to hit his classic shoulder tackles. Styles scouts this and somewhat delays the inevitable momentarily before he's taken to the mat to set up the 5-knuckle shuffle. However, Styles counters this and looks to have escaped the attempt, but before long, he's back on the mat and Cena connects with his classic offense. Cena then hoists AJ onto his shoulders and hits an attitude adjustment for a 2 count. As AJ Styles recovers, Cena has him in his sights. He goes for another attitude adjustment, but Styles counters and hits a Ushigoroshi to the neck of Cena. He signals for the Styles clash, but Cena counters and pays tributes to his WrestleMania 27 opponent, The Miz, as he hits a skull-crushing finale. Styles at this point retreats to the apron and Cena takes him to the top rope. AJ manages to escape and gets Cena on his shoulders for a torture rack, which he spins Cena out of into a powerbomb, but only gets a 2. Styles continues the offense with a flying lariat in the corner and pays tribute to fellow TNA legend Sting with a scorpion death drop. He attempts a Styles clash on Cena, but Cena grabs the leg while upside down and rolls through into an STF, but AJ manages to get out and locks in a crossface. Cena manages to get out and rolls through to put AJ into an accolade, a little nice tribute to Rusev. Trading moves, AJ turns things around once again and uses Samoa Joe's signature Kikina clutch. Cena, again turning things around, locks Styles in a Walls of Jericho to a massive roar from the crowd and an actual mention of Chris Jericho on commentary. He's coming back, isn't he? After all these dueling submissions, Cena manages to get an STF in place, but AJ gets out and connects with a Styles clash on Cena for another 2 count. Signaling for a phenomenal forearm, Styles is caught by Cena, who connects with a Sister Abigail for a stupidly close 2 count. In a beautiful moment, the Perth crowd bring out the Fireflies to pay tribute to Bray Wyatt as they begin singing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands." Styles hits Cena with an angel's wing, but Cena once again kicks out. Both men now on their feet, they throw fists back and forth, but Cena attempts an attitude adjustment, which Styles escapes from once again. An attempted pedigree is countered and met with a brutal-looking deadeye from Styles, but once again, Cena somehow manages to kick out. Paying tribute to another one of his greatest opponent, Cena hits Styles with a hangman DDT and starts to hear voices in his head as he signals for and delivers an RKO out of nowhere to the Phenomenal One. Staying in the mindset of the Viper, he goes for a punt kick to Styles, but Styles manages to get out the way and hit Cena with an attitude adjustment of his own for just a 2 count. Styles goes for a 5-knuckle shuffle, but Cena grabs him by the throat and delivers a chokeslam. The crowd at this point starts chanting 619, and looking to give the crowd what they want, Cena attempts to hit the move, but Styles cuts off Cena's momentum with a massive clothesline. He follows it up with a springboard 450 splash to the midsection of Cena. Standing in the corner, Styles starts tuning up the band and connects to the jaw of Cena with a sweet chin music. This match is absolutely bonkers. Looking to finish the match, Styles on the apron throws his elbow pad away and connects with a phenomenal forearm to Cena, but again, Cena somehow kicks out. Cena attempts to get back into the match with an attitude adjustment, but Styles looks to reverse with some stiff elbows. Cena powers through to connect with the move, but it's still not enough to put Styles away. Both men on the top turnbuckle, and Cena looks for a super attitude adjustment, but Styles knocks him to the mat. AJ goes for a crossbody, but of course, Big Match John catches him and connects with a tombstone piledriver. He follows this up immediately with an attitude adjustment to put AJ Styles away for a 3 count. What an absolutely incredible match. Both men turned back the clock and pulled out all of the stops. After the match, Cena and Styles hug as the crowd shows their respect for John Cena. He only has 4 more appearances left until the career of John Cena is over. I feel sorry for anyone trying to follow Cena versus Styles, but if anyone can do it, it's these 4. Io Sky has had a rough month or so after Asuka and Kairi Sane turned their back on the former Damage Control partner. But the former Women's World Champion has found a partner in Australia's own Rhea Ripley. The Kabuki Warriors don't waste any time as they attack both Rhea and Io as soon as the bell rings. Both Ripley and Kairi are knocked to the outside, leaving Asuka and Io to go at it in the middle of the ring. Asuka looks to extend a hand for a handshake, but Io kicks it away and immediately gains the upper hand with some quick offense. Asuka manages to connect with an elbow to Io, but is swiftly met with a foot to the face. Asuka retreats to the outside and Io takes to the sky with a dive. Kairi gets involved to save her tag team partner from a beatdown, and then Asuka tags in Kairi, and it's now her turn to take the fight to her former stablemate. Despite feeling conflicted in recent weeks, she seems more than happy to lay into Io here. The Kabuki Warriors are in firm control of this match and are successful in cutting off every attempt Io makes to try and tag in Rhea Ripley. Kairi goes for a cheap shot on Rhea, who tries to get into the ring but is held back by the referee. Stupidly, this allows for the Kabuki Warriors to deliver a double team beatdown to Io. Kairi Sane tags into the match and connects with a top rope stomp to a hanging Io, but only gets a 2 count for her team. Asuka then tags back in and starts to taunt Rhea as she beats down her former partner. However, Io Sky uses each hit to fire herself up and eventually gains the upper hand over Asuka. Rhea, hyping up the crowd, is finally tagged into the match and goes straight for Kairi Sane and Asuka. However, it's not before long Kairi Sane manages to gain the upper hand, just long enough to get some assistance from Asuka for some double team action. But, of course, Ripley turns things around once again. She hits Kairi with a razor's edge and tags in Io, who delivers a huge diving dropkick, but only manages to get a 2 count. Kairi turns things around with an Alabama slam and knocks Rhea off the apron to stop any tags from being made. She goes to the top rope, but Io neutralizes an insane elbow attempt. She goes to the top rope herself, but a distraction from Asuka stops her momentum. Ripley looks to come to the aid of her partner, but the Kabuki Warriors throw her into the steel steps to stop her. While they're celebrating their tag team offense on the outside, Io Sky takes to the air once again with a big moonsault to the outside. She then throws Kairi into the ring and hits a bullet train in the corner. She follows this up with a moonsault in the ring, but a pin attempt is broken up by Asuka. At this point, Ripley gets in the ring to support her partner and tags in. A close near fall almost wins the match for the Kabuki Warriors, but Ripley counters into a riptide attempt. However, the Kabuki Warriors gain the advantage and connect with an insane elbow. Io, though, is very quick to get in the ring and save the match. Ripley and Asuka go toe-to-toe and deliver counter after counter. Eventually, Ripley connects with an electric chair facebuster to the turnbuckle and tries to hit an avalanche riptide, but Kairi Sane manages to tag herself in. Ripley eyes both of them on the apron at this point, but Sane, sacrificing herself, she pushes Asuka out the way, which saves her from a big boot. Ripley takes the fight straight to Kairi and connects with a riptide, which is followed by a big moonsault from Io Sky, which gets the win for the team. A big win for Io Sky in this feud, and a massive hometown win for Rhea Ripley. It's now time for the main event of the show. Cody Rhodes enters Crown Jewel Perth as the defending WWE Crown Jewel champion, and he looks to fend off the leader of the division and World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins. This is a must-win for Rollins as he's never defeated Cody Rhodes in their 3 meetings since WrestleMania 38. Straight away, both Rollins and Rhodes go straight for each other. Rollins becoming increasingly frustrated early on as Rhodes solidifies control of the match as he delivers a stalling vertical suplex. Retreating outside of the ring, Rollins looks unsure of how to overcome the American Nightmare. Making matters worse for him, the Australian crowd starts to call him a wanker. Cody and Seth with dueling forearms in the ring, but once again, Rhodes manages to get the upper hand as he reverses an attempted stomp and pedigree, once again causing Seth to retreat to the outside. He starts to get in the face of Michael Cole at this point and starts to push and shove him. Cody quickly comes to the rescue of Michael Cole and throws Rollins over the announce table. While Rhodes is checking on Michael Cole at ringside, this allows Rollins to gain the upper hand as he connects with a double-footed stomp to the neck of Cody while he's draped over the barricade. Despite Rollins being in control of the match, Cody keeps finding openings which allow him to counter all of Seth's attempts to put Cody away. Things look to be going in Cody's favor as he goes for a disaster kick, but Seth counters and uses Cody's own momentum to connect with a sit-out powerbomb. Rollins looks to have shaken off the early doubt as he continues the offense to Cody with a newfound confidence, including having a go at Wade Barrett for repeating the words of the Australian crowd. This inspired a huge "We Want Barrett" chant. Cody saw an opening here, but Seth cut him off with a dragon screw. Rollins starts to get a bit cocky and mocks Cody Rhodes with a Stardust-inspired cartwheel and some bionic elbow attempts before locking in a figure 4. Cody manages to reverse the figure 4 and starts to build momentum. He capitalizes on this rest from Rollins' offense as he lifts Rollins upside down and connects with a vertebreaker. Cody, now firmly back in control, connects with a flurry of moves and looks to end the match with a Cody cutter, but Seth was able to kick out at 2. Cody senses the end is near and starts to rally the crowd, but Seth manages to escape the Crossroads attempt and delivers a pedigree to the WWE champion. Somehow, Cody manages to stay in the match. It looks as if Cody was about to win as he sets Rollins up for a crossroad, but Rollins turns things around and hits a crossroad off his own. The frustration of not being able to beat Cody is starting to set in again for Rollins as he heads to the top rope and attempts a Phoenix Splash, but in classic fashion, he misses it. Cody sees this and goes for a springboard top rope Cody cutter, but Rollins moves out of the way, causing Rhodes to crash hard to the mat. Rollins follows up with a pedigree and a stomp, but Cody somehow manages to kick out before the 3. Rollins heads ringside and picks up the watch that Cody Rhodes gifted him at WrestleMania 40. He wraps it around his fist and debates using it against the WWE Champion. He has a change of heart though, and he puts it down, and this delay allows Cody to hit a super kick, a Cody cutter, and a crossroads, but Rollins manages to stay in the match. Rhodes starts climbing the ropes, but Rollins cuts him off, leaving him hanging in a tree of woe, while Rollins starts stomping at the WWE Champion. Seth sees an opportunity and starts climbing the opposite turnbuckle. He leaps from one side of the ring to the other and connects with a coast-to-coast headbutt, but once again, this doesn't get the win. Up on the turnbuckle now, and both are trying to take control. Seth leaps to the top and hits Cody with a Spanish fly and then a rock bottom, but Cody powers through and kicks out at 2. Seth looks to deliver a super stomp to Cody from the middle rope, but Cody manages to stop Rollins. He starts climbing the top rope now and delivers an incredible super crossroads, but it doesn't put away Rollins just yet as he kicks out of that pin attempt. Both men, clearly frustrated that their best shots won't put the other way, start going punch for punch trying to gain the upper hand. Seth counters a crossroads and a pedigree attempt and grabs the watch without the referee seeing. The ref gets taken down to the mat, and while Cody attempts to hit a crossroads, Rollins strikes him with a watch. He's not finished yet though, as he climbs to the top rope and connects with a super stomp. Rollins covers Rhodes and gets the 3 count. Somewhat in disbelief, Rollins has his arm raised by the referee, and Triple Paul is back in the ring to crown Seth Rollins as the WWE Men's Crown Jewel Champion for 2025. Kathy Kelly joins Seth Rollins in the ring, but Seth swipes the mic from her and cuts a promo on the crowd about how he is the greatest of his generation and the greatest of all time. Crown Jewel goes off the air as Seth Rollins and Stephanie Vaquer stand in the middle of the ring with their newly won Crown Jewel championships. Overall, a pretty solid show with an absolutely incredible match between John Cena versus AJ Styles that really showcased why they are 2 of the best to ever do it. Thanks for joining me. I've been Fraser from Cultaholic, and this was what happened at WWE Crown Jewel 2025.